Hey, what's going on, guys? Once again, it's the chairman with another review of physical media that I've gotten over the past week or so. So just want to go over that. Didn't get a whole lot, but what I did get was the Gamera Heisei Arrow set that came in from Zavvi, and it's 4 films: The Guardian of the Universe, Gamera 2, Attack of Legion, Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris, and Gamera the Brave. And so there's also a steelbook available, but it's only of the 3 films and not the last one, the Gamera the Brave. Cost-wise, it's like this is $60, but with a 4, or you can get paid for around the same price for the steelbook of the 3. So it just depends on what you're interested in. I wanted to get 4 because I want to show it to my son. Actually, I've never seen Gamera myself, so we're going to watch this together sometime and see how it is. Also, want to give credit to Black Phillip Alvarez. He put me onto a site called rarewaves.com. They sell mainly UK imports and also some other European imports, Danish, Dutch. A lot of the stuff is they have listed as stock, but there are a few finds, and this is one of them, Logan Lucky. So just got that in, and also from Railways I got Transformers: The Last Night. This was like for I think $6 or something, and the Logan Lucky was for $5, so it was a pretty good steal. As Dieter Bastian would say, it was a Schnäppchen. Main reason I wanted to get Transformers was that I also had the Blu-ray set of the first 4 on order, but that one, The Last Night, just came first. So obviously it's shipping from UK, so lots of stuff are delayed, so they get in whenever they get in. And another thing I got was just more of my recent order from Zavvi of Genre films, and this is the other one that came in, the Night of the Hunted. And previously I had shown you The Escapees and the Demoniacs. And I'm currently watching Fascination, which is the one from the Redemption label, which is the Kino label. And all of these are from Black House. But the website is www.screenbound.com, if you can read that. And I still haven't watched one of these Black House ones, but I am assuming that the prints are pretty much from the same source. Just watching Fascination, I mean, it looks fine, but obviously it's got a lot of speckles, got the occasional hair on the frame, so you know it's an old film, so it's going to have some of the artifacts that we're used to with those old films. But so far it doesn't look bad. It's just got those things going on with it. So so nothing to be too worried about. It's just what you expect with those kind of films. In terms of music, I didn't get a lot, but what I did get was from The Sound of Vinyl. This is a debut album from a band that I actually hadn't heard of before, but they're a heavy metal band out of Austin. Their sound is very kind of doomy, similar to Black Sabbath. Maybe a little bit of like Black Label Society as well, but their content tends to gear towards a little bit more towards like Nordic stuff. They have titles called like Celestial Crown, Boreal's Blade, Freya, obviously Odin's wife, so you know where that comes from. Winter's Wolves, the Horned Goddess, Iron Swan, Lament for the Aurochs, March of the Lord, and Ebethron. And this one is actually a red vinyl. So show that to you. So it's like a marbled red vinyl. So that's pretty cool. And also have their other album called Warp Riders on order. And the covers looks pretty cool. It's got a kind of like a sci-fi feel to it. So just waiting for that to come in. And that one didn't go in that well. But what I did want to review was this film, Criterion's version of Nobuhiko Obayashi's House. This is from 1977, from originally released by Toho in Japan. And this movie is, without a doubt, one of the craziest films I've ever seen. Basically, it's a haunted house movie that is about seven girls who go to school together, and the lead character, her name is Gorgeous, and she has her friends Kung Fu, Melody, Mac, who's the fat one, but she doesn't look fat to me, Sweet, Prof, who wears glasses and is the smart one. She's kind of like the Velma character, Fantasy, and who am I missing? I think that's it. But yeah, so the film takes place in basically like a fantasy world. Nothing really looks real. The skies are like painted backdrops. It has a very like anime feel to it. In fact, it kind of feels like a live action anime in a sense. There's these sudden changes of tone where it goes from kind of serious and lighthearted to all of a sudden slapsticky. Basically, the idea is that Gorgeous, her father is a film composer, and her mother died 8 years ago. So she's like a teenager now. So I guess maybe her mother died when she was about like 6 or 7, and so they're planning on their summer vacation. And originally, the other girls were going to go to a summer house with their teacher, Mr. Togo, and Gorgeous was going to go with her father. But then her father springs a surprise on her and brings home his soon-to-be fiance, and basically tells Gorgeous, "Hey, this is your new mother. I want you to get to know her." And of course, Gorgeous is totally not in favor of that. She obviously has a lot of mother issues and doesn't want her father to get married to this lady who seems like a very nice lady. She seems a little bit overly eager to want to win over Gorgeous's affections, which we'll soon find out later in the film how that turns out. But so Gorgeous initially says, "I don't want to go with my father." So turns out that her mother's sister lives out in this all by herself in this house, and she hasn't seen her since she was a kid. So Gorgeous writes to her aunt, asks her if she can take herself and her friends over and spend some time over there. So she writes to her aunt, waits a few days. Aunt writes back, says, "Okay, yeah, bring her over." So the whole story goes is that her aunt never got married. She was engaged to a guy who then got drafted into the war and supposedly died in the war. So she's basically been all by herself, and she used to teach piano, but now, so the girls travel along. There's this kind of very lighthearted sequence where they travel to the house, and they ride on the train. It becomes animated. The whole train becomes animated, and then they learn about the story of her aunt, which is told in like a black and white silent movie version. I mean, this whole movie just is like crazily all over the place. The only thing I can mildly compare it to here would be here in the U.S. would probably be like the Evil Dead films by Sam Raimi, but even those films don't compare to how nutty this film is in terms of like the visuals. Like there's basically no attempt by the director Obayashi to make this look real. Okay, so everything's occurring in like this total fantasy world. There's a lot of process shots. There's a lot of rotoscoping. There's a lot of like not very realistic looking effects, but that's not the point, really. But so then they go to the house and they meet the aunt, and they immediately start getting the creeps because each girl starts disappearing one by one, and you can kind of tell when things happen because the aunt has this cat called Blanche, and her eyes light up green. Every time her eyes light up green, something bad happens to one of the girls. So basically, each one in turn starts disappearing. There's this thing where we find out that the aunt is actually dead, but that her love for this fiance kept her body alive, and that she essentially absorbs the souls of unmarried girls in order to keep her body alive, and kind of like a twist on the Elizabeth Bathory story. So of course, all these girls are unmarried, so they're going to get taken over, and so each one kind of falls by the wayside in increasingly more and more interesting and outlandish ways. Somehow Gorgeous ends up, I guess, kind of becoming her aunt in a way. She kind of takes over the house, and she kind of takes over the house and continues in the however you want to say it, the absorption of these absorption or a seduction of these unmarried women. And of course, at the end of the movie, we find out that her dad's fiance, Gorgeous's dad's fiance, had intended to go find Gorgeous and try to make amends with her, to try to win her over in hopes that Gorgeous would accept her as her new mother. And then so she does end up driving over to the house. It's all kind of lovey-dovey at first. Like, the house was like creepy looking, and now it's like all beautiful. It's got trees growing, there's grapes growing, and of course the mom is the future stepmother is totally seduced by the look of it. She meets Gorgeous, who's dressed up in a really beautiful kimono, and then they start getting to know each other. And then of course we find out that, well, we know what's going to happen to her mother. To her future stepmother, because she's unmarried. She's going to get killed, I guess, by Gorgeous. It's not really clear if the women are killed or if their souls are possessed or taken in, but whatever. Obviously, it's not going to end up well. So that's where the movie ends. A lot of it, I guess, is left up to your interpretation as to exactly what's going on. I just finished watching it, so I kind of haven't had a lot of time to process exactly what it is, and I'm sure if I read more about it, it will tell me. But so yeah, so that's pretty much what House was. It's Criterion Spine number 539, and I would definitely give it a watch. If it's available on sale. Criterion has sales either through their own site or Amazon twice a year. This is when I got this one, so I would definitely give it a buy. It's also available on streaming, from what I saw on IMDb. But we're physical media guys, so definitely, if you can, pick this one up. Even if you only watch it one time, it's pretty creepy. It's probably worth it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's creepy or scary. It's just really wacky, and you kind of just have to set all your expectations aside in terms of what you think a movie should look like and be like. Because yeah, this doesn't meet any of those. So yeah, just approach it with an open mind, and even if you don't like it or enjoy it, I'm sure you'll appreciate what Obayashi was trying to do with this film, because it was pretty crazy. So that's all I got for this time. And hopefully got another review coming in a couple of days or a week, and I'll talk to you then. See ya.